Hello, my name is Irelia Redondo. Something about this course I didn't know much of or understand well was pollution, environment, and environmental health. Before this class, I used to think that pollution wasn't as present as it actually is. Like when I thought about pollution, I just thought about dark clouds of smoke, like coming from cities or whatever, or oil spills in the ocean. Cause that's kind of what that's everything that I was told. But in this course, I quickly learned that it is so much more and can be something that's really harmful to environmental health. I think the most important thing that I learned was how many dangerous chemicals move throughout our nature and how many man-made chemicals can have such an effect on our health. Like such an effect that some of these things are tied to cancer. And it was also fascinating to learn how these chemicals can affect animal biodiversity. And it was just something that I didn't know could happen. It's not as big as it is. An example that that was given to us in class that really made me understand how much of a chain reaction a single pollutant or a toxic chemical could do was the one that was like a fish. If they were to ingest a toxic pollutant and a bigger fish would eat that one and a bigger fish would eat that one, eventually that would lead to humans who eat these fish to be harmed from the toxic pollutant, because that pollutant, it just doesn't go away. It grows and it grows. And that kind of just helped me understand how much of an effect pollution has on our health. It was interesting because it was something that was new to me and something that I haven't thought about, at least not as deeply as it is. This topic also made me realize that environmental health, salvation, and prevention wasn't just limited to just forests, wild animals, big cities, or oceans, but it also goes as deeply as our own personal health and things in our own home, like the tap water that we use to cook, drink, and like the air in our home. That's something that also has an effect on our health. And something else that was also really crazy to me was that not every single ingredient in a product is pronounced safe by our government or by our laws until something bad happens. And that's just kind of crazy interesting to me. But a direct connection I found from the textbook was in chapter 10, environmental health and toxicology, and it was a graph called the dose response curve, and it allowed me to understand where and when scientists it found the exact point where a chemical starts to harm a living organism. And then earlier in the text, it explained how a scientist named Rachel Carson wrote a famous book about a chemical called DDT, and really that part had a lot of information on the harms of chemicals such as DDT. And I could tie this into a few lectures because a lot of things that harmed our environment also harms our health, and a lot of things that pollute our environment also affect our health. Like one that I could think of or a few examples that I could think of are from early, like a few weeks ago. It was this one that was a ship that made its own fuel, and the ingredients in that fuel weren't looked over. They trusted the people who made the fuel, and eventually that fuel leaked into the ocean when the ship was in the ocean, and it affected a lot of animals there. Another one was that the copper plant, it threw the copper water back into the environment, also affecting a nearby body of water. And it just really helped me understand how one thing that seems harmless can lead to a lot of harms. And ultimately this class taught me a lot, but the specific topic made me understand that we cannot have an unhealthy planet and healthy people at the same time. So yeah, thank you, Dr. Starr, for a great semester and opening my eyes to these important issues that are very important. Okay, thank you.